All right, what is up, guys? Randomodium here, back with Game 4 of TSM versus Team Liquid. This is the NA LCS Finals. We're going through the pick and ban phase. I'll be talking about the strategies and the counter picks and showing which teams have the advantage going into the game. TSM went up to a 2-0 lead early. Team Liquid won Game 3. Now we're in Game 4. I will be spoiling results for Game 4. So if you don't want the results spoiled, this is your spoiler warning. The bans on TSM side is the Rise, Gangplank, and Kindred. Rise makes sense. Gangplank makes sense. Kindred makes sense as far as the picks that Team Liquid likes to go for. It doesn't really speak to a lot of a strategy. I guess they're trying to take some options off the board for split pushing and protect. Team Liquid's bans are the Silas, which has always been a red side ban, the Taric to deny the Sona Taric, and then they wind up banning out the Jace, which is actually surprising because Impact a lot of times wants to play that Jace. But it looks like they're trying to deny Broken Blade from getting his hands on the Jace to potentially run away with the early game. So really interestingly, Team Liquid has not banned out the Lissandra or the Akali or the Aurelia. So those are very high priority picks for TSM. So I would expect them to pick up at least one, potentially multiple of those type of champions, because we've seen that TSM really favors Lissandra, Akali, and Irelia in a lot of their games. So let's get into the actual picks and see what TSM goes for. So Lissandra makes perfect sense that they would go for the Lissandra pick. They lock that in, most likely going mid lane. Potentially could be flex top. And it looks like Team Liquid is going to go right back towards the Varus Tahm Kench. Yep, there's a Tahm Kench. There's the Varus. Makes perfect sense. Core JJ is an amazing Tahm Kench player. Varus is a really great AD carry if you give him some protection. So if we look at where we're at with the my little tool that we have, I'll have to zoom in so you guys can see that a little bit better. Sorry about that. All right. So you can see that TSM is going towards an attack composition and Team Liquid is going towards a protect or sieging composition. This is very similar to the Game 3 draft. So right now, Team Liquid has the advantage. Protect compositions are great into attack compositions. Siege compositions aren't as good, so Team Liquid wants to avoid going more towards siege. They want to stay either in the protect or the catch area for their team compositions, and we've been seeing that TSM likes to favor these heavy attack compositions, and it looks like Team Liquid may have gotten their number and is going towards either catch or protect. We'll see what happens with the rest of these picks. So again, the Rek'Sai Braum almost immediately. So Rek'Sai, strong catch champion, and then the Braum is kind of a very versatile support. He can be played in a lot of different team compositions. So if I grab the Rek'Sai, pull him over, you can see that aligns them to still being mainly attack, but also catch. And then the Braum, bring him over, and you wind up still having mainly attack and catch as the two primaries, and then protect winds up being the third. So Team Liquid is still in the driver's seat at this point. So what I would ideally like to see them do is I would like to see them go towards protective mid laners, protective top laners, protective junglers. So for mid lane, kind of the one that really sticks out is Zilean, but you can also do like a Lulu. Karma can be played in mid lane or in top lane. Top lane, you have a lot of tank champions like Poppy or Cho'Gath that could be really good. In the jungle, it's more restrictive. A lot of times we're seeing like the Jarvan and the Rek'Sai. The Team Liquid has pulled out the Skarner, which it doesn't work great into a protect composition. It's more of a catch composition pick. But ideally, I want to see them going more towards protect-based champions that will really lock down the draft for Team Liquid. There won't be much of anything that TSM can do besides maybe putting Broken Blade on a really strong split push champion to counter the protect composition. So the Zillion is a perfect pickup. The Zillion is exactly what I would want to see from Team Liquid. Very supportive, or rather very protect-oriented mid laner, makes it so that the Varus, it's going to be near impossible to kill him. So they're basically building a composition around Doublelift, which is exactly what we want to see from Team Liquid. So for the bans, I would expect that TSM is going to focus on jungle bans, and it looks like Team Liquid would focus on AD carry bans. So the Kalista, great. Taking the Kalista off the board, Sven has a very nasty Kalista. The Kalista is usually best in attack compositions, which wouldn't be that bad for Team Liquid if he picked it up. Olaf makes sense. Deny an early game jungler that could match the Rek'Sai. Olaf can be okay in protect compositions as well. He's not the best, I would say, but Juggernauts a lot of times can be pretty decent into protect compositions. The Aurelia, that's a great ban. Great ban from Team Liquid to deny that Aurelia, who's really good in split pushing and stuff like that. But they are still leaving up the Akali. So the Akali is still available for TSM. The Hecarim ban, also really good. Hecarim, it synergizes really well with the Zillion, because Zillion has the speed up. So the Hecarim ban is also really good. I think this is going to put Team Liquid either onto Jarvan or Skarner. It looks like Smithy has been favoring the Skarner a lot. So, yep, there we go. There's the Skarner. That's going to pull TSM more towards a catch composition. So catch compositions are known for their single target CC, burst damage, things like that. Skarner is really perfect into that. So I'm pretty sure this will actually sway their composition. Yep, it sways their composition towards catch. Catch is still good into attack, because catch is great at, you know, getting that kill onto a single individual, and attack compositions need all 5 people in order to be effective in their team fighting. So if you always deny that 5v5 team fight and you always make it a 5v4, then you will have an advantage if you're the catch composition. The problem is that as a catch composition, you never want to fight a fair fight against an attack composition if you're a catch composition. You always want to be looking for those picks before the fight. If you fight a straight 5v5 team fight, you're going to lose against an attack composition. TSM has their AD carry and their top laner picks. So as far as their picks, I would want them to go. So it looks like Team Liquid is transitioning. They did something similar in their game 3, where they initially started off looking like they were going towards a protect composition, and then they transitioned more into a catch composition. So they're actually giving TSM an out right now. If TSM transitions more towards a catch composition, because they've already got Lissandra, Rek'Sai, Braum, if they go towards a catch composition, so they could draft like an Ashe for bot lane, and they could also draft the Akali for top lane, something like that. That actually would match Team Liquid almost equally, and the teams would be pretty evenly matched for game 4. If they continue going down this route where they want to play an attack composition, then I think they're going to struggle. They're having the Echo, most likely won't lock that in. The Ezreal isn't going to help them that much. I don't think that actually was a very good pick. I wanted somebody who had a bit more catch potential than the Ezreal. I understand that the Ezreal is coming in because they want to try and deny the Skarner picks, but I feel like this may be too safe of a pick. I know Sven's Ezreal is really good. I do like the Akali pickup, but I think this is going to keep them still being an attack composition, which basically means that Team Liquid just has full control over the draft right now. So yeah, so there's Ezreal comes in, and then the Akali comes in, and they're most likely going to still be an attack composition. So yep, they're still an attack composition. They're catch second, which means that Team Liquid, as long as they continue with a catch composition, then they will be in a very good spot. The Kennen, yeah, definitely would have expected the Kennen to come out. Impact is, that's one of his signature champions of this series. So if we put the Kennen in, that will pull Team Liquid more towards a attack composition, but I don't think it's going to be enough to turn them fully into an attack composition, which means that Team Liquid has a massive advantage going into this game because they're primarily a catch and protect composition, and TSM is primarily an attack and catch composition. So catch compositions are good against attack compositions because of the reasons we already talked about, and the protect compositions are good into catch compositions because protect compositions can deny that pick potential the catch composition has. So really, the primary and the secondary comp for Team Liquid counters the primary and secondary compositions for TSM, which puts them in a very bad spot. If they had gone for, let's say, the Ashe, so let me substitute in Ashe for Ezreal, you can see that instead now they have a catch primary and attack secondary. So that means that their primary compositions are a coin flip. They're still at a disadvantage with their secondary compositions because a protect composition is usually good against attack compositions because protect compositions don't need to invest in mobility. They don't need to spend some of their power in mobility. They can spend it all on damage and toughness and crowd control and utility and things like that. So that definitely would give Team Liquid an advantage, but it'd be much less of an advantage than they currently have with the Ezreal pick. So I think this was kind of a comfort pick, obviously, for Sven. I think he was actually really wanting to go for the Kalista, and when they banned out the Kalista, that really threw him off, and he went to the Ezreal. I do think that was the mistake in the draft, that they should have gone towards somebody who had more catch potential. But I understand that in these type of pressure situations, you want to go towards your comfort picks. But anyway, that is my analysis for Game 4. This game was pretty one-sided, if I remember correctly. I think Team Liquid just kind of ran away with it, which is what we would expect with this type of a mismatch, where both the primary and the secondary compositions for Team Liquid counter the primary and secondary compositions for TSM. So you can see this is actually probably, I think, the most lopsided game that we've had of the entire series so far. And that kind of makes a lot of sense from a team composition perspective. I'm not saying that TSM would have won this game if they had changed their picks a little bit, but I think that they would have had a much better shot against Team Liquid had they played more towards a catch composition. So you can see the game ends 15-3, and that's a real tilter when you're going into a game 5, when Team Liquid just absolutely demolishes you in game 4. I think that really puts a lot of pressure on TSM. Team Liquid is on a high. They're feeling like they're invincible. So I feel like this draft really botched things for TSM for game 5. But I definitely want to know what your guys' opinions are, whether you agree with my assessment or if you have any questions or comments or concerns. I will be continuing with game 5. And I'm actually thinking about potentially doing like a full game VOD review for game 5. I don't know if you guys are interested in that, because that would be a significantly longer video. But if I get enough interest in people who want me to do a full VOD review for game 5, I would be happy to do that. So definitely leave a comment if that interests you. I hope you all have a fantastic day. This is Randomonium signing off.